I'd like to welcome you guys to this week's report. Today is Thursday, March the 21st. Yes, I did manage to look at the date before I started shooting my video today, unlike last week. A lot of good things happening fishing-wise up and down the coast right now, but this weekend we're going to have some weather. If you guys watch the news, we're supposed to have a storm come in Saturday night into Sunday. It's got quite a bit of wind with it, so we'll have to see how that pans out. They've been hit and miss with weather lately, so let's hope that it's not as bad as forecast. That's going to move out Tuesday and Wednesday, and then it looks like there's another one coming next Thursday, which looks pretty big and might have a lot of wind with it. But when they forecast that far out, it's really hit and miss, so I'm not going to worry about that till next week. But you know, if you're planning to fish this weekend, I try and do it Saturday morning and probably stay local. You should have a weather window until at least noon or so. Up at the Channel Islands, maybe not, but yeah, the forecast changes constantly, so just check it before you head out to be on the safe side. Anyway, let's head up to the Channel Islands. Good spring fishing up there. My friend Larry Heron, Calico Hunter Charters, had a trip up there last Saturday. Had really good calico bass fishing in the boiler zone on swim baits and lead heads. I saw my friend Pat from the Aloha Spirit took a skip out, had a nice halibut at Santa Cruz as well, and I got a report from Alex Ciani. I'm not 100% sure of pronouncing his last name right, but he fished Anacapa on Sunday, and they had slow fishing early, but ended up with a nice 15-pound halibut. So good job to them. Sport boats up there are still targeting whitefish and sheephead, having really good fishing. That's out of Santa Barbara and Ventura. They're also getting some halibut at the islands as well. So yeah, the weather's going to be tough this weekend, but hopefully next week will be better, and I'm sure it won't have any impact on the fishing. No coverage at Clemente again. It's usually just bass guys fishing at this time of year, and the island's been slow. So most of the action has been at Catalina. I took a trip on Saturday morning with Matt to the west end of Cat, and we planned to fish the boiler zone. And you know, I really don't like throwing a lead head and swim bait if I don't have to. So we started out fishing crankbaits, and really just had no bites at all. And I had heard it was good there, so I actually tied on a 5-inch viejos, and like my first cast I got bit. And over the next hour or two, we probably had 30 fish on those. Matt got this nice one, the biggest fish of the trip.
That one was definitely more like it.
Nice. Good one?
Yeah. Oh, good drag. Oh, stay on, baby. Jesus. That is a puller right there.
Jesus.
Yeah. And look at that one.
Oh wow, nice one.
Annihilated that bait. Oh boy. That's fish of the year so far for me.
Yeah. So anyway, you know, you can see there that we're, you know, just fishing along the shoreline, and there's a lot of really generic shoreline. And when I say generic, the water all looks the same. When you're fishing the boiler zone, you're looking for any deviation in color. If it's super clear, you want to look for something a little dirtier. If it's super dirty, you want to look for something a little cleaner. But you want small areas of off-color water, because that's going to aggregate those fish. And what we found was that as the morning progressed, the sun got up, the cleaner areas, or the dirty areas, were getting harder to find. So the ones that we were finding were on, small areas adjacent to clean water. And we switched from swim baits to crankbaits, and that was really, our Matt put on a crankbait first, and I mean, he had 3 fish and 4 casts, and I had none on the swim bait, so I switched up as well, and we caught a bunch of fish. And these fish in this boiler zones, if you find the right area, you catch a bunch of fish here. This is a little video where Matt gets a couple, and I think I got 1 or 2 that same area. He probably got 10 fish out of that little cove there. Got one? Yeah. Nice. That's how you do it.
What's that?
That's how you do it.
Easy, baby. Easy, baby.
Now I got that slug stuck in my head too.
What?
Da, da, da. Another one?
Big one. Well, at least he was pulling hard. I don't know how big it is. He got in there in that current, man. He's so big.
Yeah.
I was gonna follow her.
Yeah.
Oh, he pulled hard. That was basically just put it in gear.
Right. Jeez, man. You're in them. So as often happens to Catalina, as the day progresses and the sun gets overhead, conditions kind of slack off, and I've been there enough times and done enough of it that I knew that it was time to go. We left, I think, at 10:30. And a good indicator is if you're driving through the kelp and you look down in clear water and you see a bunch of blacksmith perch happily swimming along, or a bunch of bait just freezing on the surface, the bite's over. Everything, you're done. You could probably fish another 5 or 6 hours and not catch a fish until the afternoon conditions change around again. So you're better off. Well, I'm not one to sit out there when they're not biting. So once I saw that, we took off. We probably had, I don't know, 40, maybe 50 fish and 3 or 4 hours of fishing in the morning. But yeah, early it was swim baits on the lead head. Once the sun got overhead, it was crankbaits, and then once conditions changed, it was nothing. So all that was from the west end down to about Ribbon Rock. My friend Jerry and his son Nick went out to Catalina yesterday, I think, and did the same kind of deal. And Nick had an 8-pound calico, real nice fish for that boiler zone. Those fish pull really hard when they're up tide light. It's a lot of fun. But if you're going to do it on your own boat, keep the main motor running, even if you're using a trolling motor. I don't have a trolling motor on my boat, so I fish from the console. And the nice thing about the West End, and East End as well, some of the boiler zones will push you away from the island due to the surge and the water movement. So you're not in any danger of going up on the rocks, even though it might look sketchy. But there are areas that, depending on conditions, they'll pull you in, so you want to be careful. So basically all I would do is I'd get the boat in the casting range, and I would just bump it ahead to keep it up against the island as needed. And if there are fish in the zone that's going to bite, you're going to catch them right away. So it's not even worth spending a lot of time. If you don't get bit in the first 10 casts, just move on to the next spot. And once you pattern the conditions these fish are in, the water color, the type of water movement, they'll bite in subsequent spots you'll try as well. So, there's also at the east end of Cat, the bonita are biting, as they normally are. My friend Vaughn Podmore, who runs Salty Fly Guide Service, has been just looping them over there. Nice creative fish, not real big ones, but fun on light tackle. If you're on your own boat and you don't fly fish, you can troll a DD100 Lucky Craft or a small crankbait behind your boat, like 3 or 4 knots, and just run that 90-foot curve at the along the front of the island. I'll start at usually the Pebbly Beach there by the where they land the helicopters and run up towards Avalon, or up the other direction towards Church Rock. Just stay in that 90-foot zone. You'll find them. They'll bite. Once you catch one, they'll stick around for a while unless you get a sea lion on you and you can start casting lures to them instead of trolling. But trolling does help locate them. So along the coast, I fished PV. Well, let me back up. On Tuesday, I fished sand bass. Matt's coworker Ian came out with us, and he does not know how to cast a conventional reel. So we were just going to hit sand bass spots. It ended up being really windy, way windier than forecast, but we just fished hard bottom spots outside of the break wall, and fishing the 8-inch MC slug on a 2-ounce lead head with the assist hook, as opposed to regular fixed J hook. I did a video about that a while back. It's on the BDOutdoors YouTube page. You just scroll through there, you'll find it. We actually had pretty good fishing like that. A lot of doubles, a lot of bites. No real big ones, but something fun to do on a windy afternoon. And the weather was better today, so Matt and I went up to PV this afternoon. 62.5, 63 degree water up there. Had the bass basically in spring to summertime mode, biting on the surface. We had to drive around quite a bit to find them, though. There was a lot of off-color water. We had a couple different zones that bit pretty well. A lot more bites than fish caught. I threw the 7-inch MC weedless for several hours and probably had 10 bites on it, but didn't hook any of them. But the fish were coming on a little 6-inch MC slug and a little keel hook, fishing on the surface. And Matt got this nice fish. Had a few others that were close to that size, but yeah, a lot of small ones too. It's PV, it's springtime. You catch a 12-incher up to 2-pounder, and then once in a while you get a standout. Halibut are still biting along the coast. My friend Martin went out on the native sun, got a real nice one the other day. Also, my friend Sibby took his own boat out and also got a nice fish. Those halibut special trips on the native sun are consistently scoring. When there's bad weather or Santa Anas, they don't really seem to bite, but more often than not, they're catching fish. My friend Ron Matro fished Newport Harbor the other day, had good spotty fish and caught this real nice one. So that's always an option. If you got this weekend, it's a little breezy or something, you could always go crank Newport Harbor, or any of the harbors for that matter. There's a lot of fish along riprap and stuff like that. You catch calicos and sand bass in Long Beach Harbor. Also some real big spotties if you stumble into them. That's really it along the coast. Not a lot of coverage, but the good news is down in San Diego, the day-and-a-half boats, the 3-day boats, they found those bluefin. They're on them. Nice grade of fish. It looks like they're 60 pounders up to fish that look like they're 150 pounds depending on the day. I think it's mostly like 60 to 80 pound fish, but they're getting them at night. They're getting them on jigs and stuff. They're also catching them during the day, And there's some pretty big yellowfin mixed in with them as well. Looks like, 50, 60 pound fish. I think the Tribute had one at night, and the next trip they had one during the day. I'll tell you what, if you've only been catching bluefin lately, you hook a 50 or 60 pound yellowfin, you're gonna be in for a surprise. They pull so much harder than bluefin do. I think a 50 pound yellowfin would probably drag a 100 pound bluefin to death if they tied them tail to tail. But I'm hoping that's a sign of good things to come. Seeing yellowfin in March is pretty unusual. It might be a fluke. It might be part of the El Nino thing. It's gonna be a great year. Who knows? Those fish are really far, though, like 100 miles from San Diego. So kind of out of private boat range. I doubt that anybody's going to go down and fish them this weekend due to weather. Maybe multi-day trips are already out. I know I think it was the Polaris Supreme or one of the boats had a real good bite last night. And those fish will stick around. They're not weather or water temperature dependent so much. That water's not that warm down there anyway. In closer news, the pongas out of Ensenada are also getting bluefin, smaller grade fish. Looks like 20, 30 pound fish, and they're getting those trolling madbacks around. I don't know what kind of volumes down there. I was hoping that one of the full day boats out of San Diego might take a look around this weekend, but I don't think they will with the weather. And if the weather forecast holds true, it might be a couple weeks before you see what happens there. But first week of May or first week of April might see some full day boats getting into bluefin tuna if everything holds its course here. But yeah, that's about it. I fished 4 out of the last 8 days as well as working. I'm kind of worn out, so I'm going to cut it off here. But yeah, like I said, check the weather if you're heading out this weekend, and good luck if you fish.